welcome to this week's live Karma Yoga. My name is Kirsten, and today we will be doing a very gentle, mostly lying on the ground, working with our lower part of our body with maybe one upper part stretch. So, uh, before I get into the initiative of what this yoga class is, you can get your props ready. So, I've got two big pillows, but the more the merrier. So, if you want a more zen, chilled kind of experience, you're more than welcome to stack up on those pillows. And then, secondly, you will need a strap. I do not have one, so I've got this thing over here. Depending on your level, you might need something longer, so a belt or a scarf or even a towel, just something that you can kind of, if it is a towel, you would have to roll it a bit so that it's easier to grab onto and give you some stability. So while you get your props ready, I'm going to tell you a bit about Karma Yoga. So every week we do a live yoga class that is yin based. So we'll hold our poses for about 3 to 5 minutes. This helps really get to that deep fascia, give you flexibility, and maybe work through some stuff. My mom sometimes jokes and says that I turn it into a therapy session, which it won't be like that today. So you are either relieved or not relieved about that. But the reason I do that is one of the most challenging things for yin yoga is to either still the body or still the mind. So I give you prompts sometimes just so that you can get distracted or at least have something to focus on while in a pose. So the point of this is I do this as a good deed so that you can do a good deed in your community. I would really love it if you would comment your good deed that you intend to do this week. What it does is it just either enforces the good deed that you want to do or it will encourage someone else in your community. Anyways, let's get started. If you would like, you can grab your phone and play some nice relaxing music and then meet me at the top of your mat. You can place a pillow just for your head if you would like, and then meet me down onto the mat, keeping your strap nearby and your pillow to the right side of the mat at the top. Um, Settle in with your breath here. Maybe put your hand on your belly and one on your chest, where you can just kind of settle into your breath here and forget about what it is that you were doing before this or what you intend to do later. And give yourself some full deep belly breath. So you'll start to feel your belly lift, then your ribs, and then your chest. And then as you exhale, your chest will lower, followed by your ribs. And then lastly, your belly. Inhale all through your nose. And exhale. One more inhale. And at the top of that inhale, hold it, open your mouth, and go and just sigh it out. So we're going to start with a banana stretch. So walk your right foot out to the right side of your mat. And it can even be slightly over. And then your right foot, your left foot to follow. And then you can straighten your legs. So you already feel there's a side stretch. Grab the pillow from behind you and place it on the right side. And then take your right hand and place it on the top of that pillow. And then inch to the side so that you can meet your left hand with it, or your right hand with your left, into a nice side banana stretch. Looking up towards your hands or just behind you. Pushing firmly into your hips here. In yin yoga, we try to find and stay in that orange because we're holding it for a long time. The orange is there just by the time strains of holding a pose. You just don't want to be in red. So at any point, if it feels like you're in your red zone, just to make any adjustments you need. Maybe adding more pillows. And you might even find that as you stay in a pose for longer, you can adjust to make it a little bit more challenging because you start to stretch and deepen into it. Really focus on keeping that left hip as square and down and glued to the mat as possible. Because you are in the comfort of your own home, you're more than welcome to make circles with your mouth and just stretch your face, scrunch your nose. Even yawn if you feel the need. Take one more inhale and push firmly into your shoulder blades. See if you can encourage a bigger open in your left side of your body in that twist, especially with that pillow underneath your head. I'm sure it adds a different dynamic. And then slowly you can bring your hands back out, even hold them wide and stretch. Give yourself a hug and then move your feet back to center. So you're just lying on your mat. Grab your strap, belt, scarf, whatever we're going to use today, and then bring your right leg up. First bend it so that you can place the strap on the ball of your feet or of your foot, so that's the most sturdy part, and then flex your toes back and then adjusting to the length that works for you. So you're more than welcome to start relatively low, even if your strap is longer, and you can do that. And then as we go, you'll be able to pull it up. We are holding it for some time, so just keep your elbows slightly bent here. You don't want to fully extend your leg out where you lock in your knee, so you can bend it slightly. I know that's something I have a challenge with, so I don't want you to think it's fully bent. Try and keep it straight. And then maybe after a few breaths of you pushing firmly into your hips and flexing even those left toes back out towards you, you might find that you can slowly start to bring or tighten your grip onto the strap. Close your eyes. Make sure your shoulders aren't hugging up towards your ears. Drop them down. You're very comfortable on your pillow. It's almost like if you didn't know your leg was up, you'd probably look like you were sleeping or something. Just holding it. And then when you're ready, you can take your strap into your right hand. But before you do that, maybe move a pillow out to your right side, because not everyone, I'll show you what this looks like, not everyone can bring their leg all the way down. So to have pillows stacked on the side as your base is always the nicest. But once you've got your strap into your right hand, take one inhale and push your heel out towards the ceiling. See if you can just lengthen and bring it closer towards your nose. And then as you exhale, lower down onto the pillow or the floor, but still keeping this hip relatively, well, definitely try. The goal is to push it into the mat. If it's spraying up, then your legs too far down and you just must bring it up, and then even fold your pillows until it reaches a point. So your breaking point or your telling point of where this out leg, the right leg, needs to be is the left hip. So whatever works in terms of, if it's spraying out and you're not even, then make an adjustment that works for you. Still pushing your right heel out towards the right side of the room and keeping both feet here flexed and active. And you might find that as you breathe and you hold this, you can even start to bring this leg up towards your face and tighten that grip on your foot or on your strap. Pushing firmly into what I would like to say is every surface point that is touching the mat. So your shoulders, your lower spine and your hips, and then that long straight left leg, all just steady and firmly into the mat. Give that nice inner thigh stretch. We've got one more breath here. Try to utilize it. So as you inhale, see if you can bring your toes closer towards you. And then as you exhale, see if you can lower down just a little bit more. You might even feel with that exhale and lowering down that you've shifted something in your glutes. And then just bend your knee to see if you can bring it towards your armpit or your underarm. You can keep your strap close to you and move it maybe to the left side. And if you can't reach, then obviously you can grab your ankle or your shin. Just holding on to this leg into this half happy baby. Might even find you can move your leg from side to side. Maybe wiggle your toes, flex and point. Put some movement that might feel good for you. That's what's lovely about yoga, is just being able to try different poses and see the ways your body can move. To bring your awareness again to that left hip, what I like to do is just place my hand on my hip here so that I know it is pretty much solidified into the mat here, as if there's an anchor just weighing me down, or like one of those weighted blankets. My hand's the weighted blanket. Still flexing and pushing that heel up towards the ceiling of the right foot. Dropping your shoulders down and away, and relaxing the muscles in your mouth. There should be no tension here. And then before we move our leg or do anything else, try to keep your knee still tucked in towards your armpit. And so releasing your hand almost as if there's a connection between your wrist, or not your wrist, your elbow and your knee. And grab the pillow on the one side, still with your knee bent, and then place it on the other side, and then grab your strap. Place the strap again on the ball of your foot. This time, put the strap into your right hand, your left hand, and then straighten your foot or your leg, pushing the heel of that right foot up toward the ceiling, flexing your toes back towards your nose. And then as you exhale, bring your leg across your body onto the left side. Bring your attention then to your shoulders and push your shoulders into either, like I've got the pillow, or into the mat, and bring your hand out to a T and gazing over that shoulder to look to the back side of the room or the right side of the room. Again, the point here is to have your shoulders pushing firmly. So if you are rolling off your shoulders, it means that your pillows are not stacked high enough. So then all you have to do is either fold your pillow like that or add extra pillows until you find the comfortable, happy medium of your shoulders pushing firmly down and being squared off. If you'd like, you can also point and flex your left foot just to kind of bring awareness to that leg, as we haven't done much with it lately. Releasing all the tension of the day. Keeping that right foot flexed. You might even find you can lift that leg or tighten your grip on your strap to bring it closer towards you. And then when you're ready, before you lift up, just see if you can remove the pillow and place it underneath that right hip before you bring your knee back, and then bend it underneath where the pillow meets, so as close to your glutes as possible, and then bring your other knee to meet it and bend. Lift your hips up and slide the pillow underneath your hips, and then just lower it down. So now we're in a little bit of a supported bridge. Before I cue the next point, we're going to focus on rolling the shoulders underneath, okay? And then taking the left leg and straightening it. So we're in a half bridge here, allowing this is the only upper body work we're going to do. So try and take full advantage of it if you're interested. You might even want to interlace your elbows underneath you to lift your chest up and just look up behind you into this back bend kind of bridge, hugging your shoulders in towards each other. If this is too intense, you're also more than welcome to just hug your shoulder blades in and keep your hands out at like a kind of an L shape, and allow your right foot to be quite firm, almost as if this is still the steady, most grounded point of the pose is that right foot. So you might even want to lift your toes up, spread them wide, and then one toe at a time as you're spreading them out, plant them into the mat, pushing firmly, almost like if you imagine when you were a child and you wanted to pick something up with your toes and you've got monkey feet. So you're pushing into the mat with that, and you might even feel your hips lift slightly, still active. You can tuck your chin in here if that feels more comfortable, if your neck feels too stretched, or looking out, but don't move side to side. And start to observe your breath, so you'll actually get to see your belly moving up and down. Maybe bring a smile to your face. Just to know you've almost completed another day. Maybe think of the good deed you want to do this week. I'm going to suggest one that you maybe let someone go in front of you in a line. Someone did that for me the other day and I was so happy. I didn't know if it's because they could see I was pregnant or not, but I took it, even though the line wasn't even that long. With your hands out like this, maybe spread your fingertips wide and wiggle them like you're giving little jazz hands, or imagine you've got a little bit of frequency going between the two hands. You can put a color to it if you would like. Scrunch it. Be interesting if you write in the comments at some point what color you used or you thought of. I'll tell you what it means. Like, I know green is the heart chakra and it's healing energy. Red would be groundedness, so maybe you're thinking of stability or finances. And then when you're ready, you can untuck your elbows and then bring your left leg to meet the right in the bend, and then just lift your hips up and slide that pillow out from underneath you. Okay, now take the pillow to the left side of your upper mat. Walk your feet towards the left side of your mat, and then you can walk them out. And then take your left arms out and your right to follow. You can either link your hand or just have it active if your pillow can reach into this banana shape on the other side, feeling that nice side stretch. Push firmly into that right hip so you can feel the kind of squaring off of your hips here. And either look up or tuck your chin in, whichever works for you. But push firmly into your shoulders as well. As you see, the pillow has lifted me up a little bit, so the firmer I push into it, it actually strengthens and allows me to open my chest and give a better stretch into the side. So user's discretion, whatever works for you. And observing your breath. You might be able to feel and see your belly expanding and contracting, or even observe where do you breathe most? Is it through your belly or your chest? The beauty of deep belly breathing or three-part breath is to really see how much lung capacity we really have. The fact that we only breathe in through maybe our chest or our ribs or our belly, and only using one or two sections is quite crazy to grasp. Take one more inhale here. Make a conscious pushing every point into the mat slash pillows. And then as you exhale, open your mouth and go, just release any tension or hold you had. And then move your feet back to the center, followed by your hands. You might even want to do a little bit of a lying shake, like I don't know, a dying worm. I don't know if that's the best description. Just grab your strap, and then on your inhale, lift your knee or your knee towards your chest, and then bring your foot into that position that you're ready to lift it up. So again, the strap onto the ball of your feet or your foot. And you can almost imagine you've got a strap on your right foot as well, because you're flexing it and pushing your heels down and your toes back towards you. As you see, I'm starting a little bit further away, but I know that as we hold this, I might bring it closer towards me, just warming up into it. So you might even want to move your foot from side to side, do a little bit of a rock or a wiggle, maybe move back and forth until you settle into this and allow your forearms to just hang so you're not scrunched up, lower down, pushing firmly into every part that's touching the mat so that you've got that active feel. You might even feel as you're pushing into your lower part of your spine here that you activate your glutes slightly and you even bring awareness to your core because you're pushing and compressing everything down. So it's like you're sucking your gut in towards your spine to add to that weight onto your mat, really. You might find that as you inhale, you'll push your heel up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you might even be able to bring your leg closer towards your face. Got 2 more breaths. And then before you take your strap onto the left side, first move the pillow to the left side of your leg. Again, if you use 2 pillows, if you folded, whatever you did on this side, it gives you an indication of what you would need on the other side. But take your strap into your left hand and then lower your left leg down onto the pillow, the ground, or the mat, or wherever you are, keeping that maintenance of the right hip centered and anchored into the mat. So you don't want it lifting up. If you're lifting up, you need to lift your leg up higher and hold it in the air if you don't have the pillows. So just be mindful, of what that is for you. And then you might find that you could even tighten your grip over some time, but feeling that nice stretch. Again, shoulders firmly into the mat. And if you want, you can even take your right hand and place it on that right hip so that you can feel and almost use it as that weighted blanket kind of theory to hold your hip down and just see how that feels for you. Holding for a few breaths. Focusing on your breath. It really helps as well if you are struggling to keep that hip down to look to the opposite side of the room. It's almost as if your gaze will guide the rest of your body. You know, when you are a kid and you're learning to catch a ball and they say just keep your eye on the ball, it's the same kind of theory. So if you just keep your eye in the direction that you're struggling to bring your body, it tends to help. Remember to keep that right foot flexed and back. Both feet should be flexed and back. Take one more inhale. And then on your next exhale, bend your knee and see if you can bring it. You can use the strap or the belt, whatever it is, to see if you can guide your knee towards your underarm to grab under your foot and into this happy baby or this half happy baby. So again, you're pushing your heel up towards the ceiling. Your feet or your toes are flexed back, and you're hugging your knee in towards you. You're compressing the side of your body is tight. Imagine if we had or we could use the strap and we could tie it around us. Let's see if I can get it that way. Tie it, and then you feel like you're stuck. That's a good another yin prop if you would like, is to hold your arm and your knee as close together. This would help in poses like crow pose if you're trying to, a lizard, or anywhere where you have to link your knee in towards your underarm. This could be a great way to practice that connection point. So even if you want to bring it on the outside and hug it in, that could also work. But because we're doing a more yin style, I'm going to make it more relaxed for myself. But still push your foot up towards the ceiling and anchor that right hip. Taking a few breaths here. We've got just 30 more seconds in this pose. It's not too long. Maybe do a body check by starting with your toes or your feet at the bottom, pushing your heels down towards the bottom of your mat kind of direction, dropping that shoulder away, keeping both your feet flexed. Even bring your attention to your glutes here, see what they're doing, how the stretch is feeling. Feels so nice. Okay, if you did decide to strap around and experiment with me today, you can undo that. Move your pillow to the right side of your mat, and then grab your strap and place it again underneath the ball of your foot, straightening that leg out. It might feel a little different. Remember when we first started how this felt? Now you probably feel a little bit more loose. I would hope so. Take your strap into your left hand. Again, pushing that heel up towards the ceiling. Toes are flexed back. See if you can straighten your leg just slightly. And then as you exhale, just lower over into a cross. Gotta make my pillow nice and comfortable. And then take that left hand and plant it into the mat or the pillow and looking over into this nice stretch. You can feel it in my spine. When I was practicing this class earlier, I actually felt a few cracks and I was like, oh, this feels so good. And then you can tighten your strap if it's accessible for you. Just close your eyes and sink into the mat / pillows. Mm-hmm. You might even find you want to point and flex the right foot. See how dirty my feet are, sure. I've been working on construction sites and I'm pretty much plot living, so I think it's a good thing to have dirty feet. It means I did something outside. For anyone who is pregnant and watching, this pose might feel uncomfortable after sometimes, so just, unwind and make any adjustments, even if you're bringing your hand and it's not all the way down, just towards your shoulder. Take one more conscious inhale. Feel your chest lift slightly, and then as you exhale, see if you can contract your belly closer in towards your spine. And then you can slowly let go of your strap and then just place it towards your head. Bring that pillow and see if you can place it as close to your hip as possible, and then roll over it, bringing your foot as close to the pillow or your glute as possible, following it with your right, and then lift your hips up to slide the pillow underneath. If you want to get a better bridge kind of pose, you're more than welcome to add extra pillows. I'm not, because of the whole pregnancy thing, but you are more than welcome to really stack it up if you would like. But once you've reached the point that you are comfortable with, or what you did last time, you can keep that left leg bent and see if you can even step it closer towards your pillow slash glute, and then lower the right leg down. Then you can take the variation of the upper body that you used. So I did this one, but you're more than welcome to grab opposite elbow underneath you and tuck your chin in or look up. So get into the variation that works for you. And then bring your awareness to that left foot. Again, that's your safety net here. This is your support. You know, like any bridge, if you don't have anything connecting you on either side, it's very wonky and no one wants to go over that bridge. So spread your toes wide and push firmly into the mat. And see if you can walk your shoulders and elbows in just slightly more. You might find, if you are keeping your hands up like mine in this L shape, that you would want to maybe roll your wrists and bring some movement into your hands until you feel you've settled. And just observe your breath here for another minute. With that right foot, see if you can flex your toes back towards your face, pushing firmly into the mat. It may look comfortable, but you've got so many different aspects here that are still active. Relax your mouth and your throat here. And then slowly, when you're ready, you can untuck your elbows. And then bring your foot, or your left foot, right foot in, so that both knees are bent. You might find whichever side is more comfortable to roll over onto your side. And then use your top hand to push it up to find our way into all fours. So keeping both your pillows very close. We'll start on the right side. So put a pillow on the right side of your mat, and then you can bring another pillow, almost like it's making like a 90-degree angle. And we're gonna do a half frog. So the key intention for this, especially for anyone who is pregnant, is to allow space so that you have space for your belly to go underneath. So stack more pillows if that is your concern. If it is not your concern, then the less pillows, I think, the better sometimes, because you're actually going to have a deeper twist or a deeper stretch, and you'll see what I mean. So you can place your hands onto your pillows, spread your fingertips wide, and then bring your weight onto your hands here. Lift your right leg up and then place it on the pillow. So you want to have your ankle and your knees in line with each other so that it's straight. Just kick that out the way. And then lower onto your leg like this. So it's almost like a sphinx, but you're going to lower down onto the pillow. And then be able to lift back to push your hips up. So if you don't feel that alignment, you can lift your knee up to match it. Again, keeping your foot flexed and your ankle and your knee in line so it's straight. And then push firmly into your forearms and look out in front of you. And you might even find that as you wiggle, you'll find more place in your hip to square off here. And we're just going to hold this for 3 minutes, so find whichever is comfortable for you. If you have more pillows, you'll see what I mean, where you'll have to stack your knee up higher, and then you're lifting it up, which is also beneficial for those wanting to get into full frog, or just increase your flexibility range in that area. And then for those of you who have bigger bellies, if it is in the way, you can just lift up and bring a pillow even further down to lift you off the ground. Just one more minute. Drop your shoulders away, and you can even sink your head. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, you can plant your hands either on the pillow if it was further up or not. And then just come back up. Bring the pillow that was under your knee in between your legs. So spread your knees as wide as your mat. And then you can bring your toes to touch and sit on to your heels. So this is my favorite way to get into child's pose, just so that I can practice the connection between my heels and my glutes. So even if you want to roll away some extra skin, we all have it, or most of us do. Keep this pillow out, almost like at a T, and then walk your hands over it into a nice child's pose. And then you can place your head maybe looking one side, and then as you get tired or if you get uncomfortable, you can turn to face the other side. I'm going to leave the type of stretch to you. If you would like to stretch more into your upper body, you would reach your hands forward. If you'd like to stretch more into your hips and your lower body, you would keep kind of pushing backwards. So whatever works for you and whatever your intention for today is. Maybe you've had a tough upper body week and you need to stretch it out, or vice versa. If you also do find that your hips are sitting more up than usual, you can also add another pillow underneath your hips so that you're connecting your calves and your hips together. And when you're ready, you can slowly start to walk your hands towards your knees. So you're coming back up to the sitting. Lift up that pillow and then place it on the left side of your mat. So then you're again at that 90 degrees. Make the adjustments that you used on the one side before, now that you know what we're getting into and what works for you the best. So then when you're ready, you can lean over onto the front pillow, lift your left leg up and over onto the pillow, allowing your knee and your ankle to be in line with each other, lowering down onto your forearms, and then straightening that right leg out into your frog or half frog. I'm just checking my alignment and then tucking it in because I'm lying too much on my belly. I'm just sitting here relaxing. Again, dropping my head. If you have another pillow, you're more than welcome to place it so you can just relax your head onto it without contracting or sinking into your shoulders here. But it's also a nice neck stretch opportunity. So if you would like, you can stretch by nodding backwards and forwards slowly, or maybe even shaking sideways, doing circles in one direction and then the other. Might even look behind one shoulder and then the other, flexing that left foot, keeping it active. Enjoying the breath. Got one more minute. And then slowly, when you're ready, you can pop up onto your hands and then walk your right foot in. And then cross over your legs here to come to a seat. We're going to get ready for Shavasana. So you can place one pillow in the middle of your mat and then one at the top. I'm switching sides on you. So your knees will come over the one pillow and your head on the other. So whatever side works for you. If you would like, you can grab a blanket and have an extended Shavasana, play some nice music in the background, and then I hope the YouTube doesn't play a video directly afterwards so you can enjoy it. But make your way onto your spine. If you are pregnant, you must lie on your side, but it's still a good way to get to lying onto your back. So then you can allow your legs to just spray out. I like to think of letting the pinky toes fall to the side. And then we'll do a full body check-in. So find consistency in this Shavasana. If you like to receive, your palms can be faced up. If you like to ground, place your palms down. And we'll be in Shavasana for about 10 minutes. I like to use the train theory. If you know you're on a train and you're late for a meeting, but the train is set to be a certain amount of time. It's only going to take you that amount of time. If you sit on the train, bouncing your leg and getting ready to leave, then you're not enjoying and relaxing. It's not going to, it doesn't matter if you're stressed or not, the train's going to be the same amount of time. And that's what it is with Shavasana and corpse pose. So just really embrace it. Allow your mind to just sink in everything we've done. So starting with your toes, just allow them to release. Imagine that every part of your body I mentioned now gets a weight and it just sinks deeper into the mat. So with your eyes closed, inhale. And as you exhale, push that awareness down to your toes and your feet, relaxing every muscle. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your awareness to your ankles, relaxing. Inhale. And as you exhale, relax every muscle in the back of your legs, your calves, your knees, the back of your thighs. Relax your hips and your glutes, your belly, your spine, your shoulders, your hands and your fingertips, your wrists, your forearms and elbows, all just sinking deeper into your mat. Relax your shoulders again and your throat. Allow your tongue to just fall in your mouth. Relax your nose, your eyebrows and your eyes. Just stay here and be. You can slowly start to bring your awareness back to the mat by wiggling your toes or brushing your fingertips, maybe bringing movement into your ankles, rolling them from one side and then the other. And when you're ready, you can inhale and lift your arms overhead and your legs out straight into a nice stretch. And then as you exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out. Inhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe rock from side to side. And then when you're ready, you can roll over onto whatever side feels comfortable to you into a fetal position. Use your top hand to push yourself up into a seated pose. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. Push your hips down into the mat and bring your palms to touch above. Exhale, bring it down to your chest. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.